And the only way that he can exit is back through this door. So you're gonna see how I square up, and then I just use my movement. It happens really fast. My cursor just stays onto him the entire time. All right, hey everybody. So in this video, I'm gonna be talking about like a concept that I'm like constantly relying on when I'm aiming, and I'm just gonna call it spatial anchoring, okay? So like what spatial anchoring means is that like I'm gonna use nearby map geometry. So that could be like walls, that could be door frames, that could be like corners of the map. And I'm gonna use them all as frames of reference to try to like mentally lock my mind to it, so that I can make my movement predictable, which in return is gonna make my aim predictable, okay? So like, I'm always gonna try to keep my body squared to the threat. In this video, I'm gonna be demonstrating it in Vaxta, and then I'm also gonna be showing you guys different examples of how I use it in a competitive environment. Whenever I try to do this spatial anchoring training in Vaxta, basically there are 4 corners in Vaxta, okay? There's 4 walls, which make a square. So you can use each wall as a frame of reference, and then you can also quickly swap your frame of reference. So right now, if 2 is my frame of reference that I'm gonna be using, I'm going to make sure that these enemies never, ever, ever cause me to turn around. So for instance, if I was walking at the Sojourn and I was fighting the Sojourn, I just turned around from my frame of reference. I want to keep this 2 in front of me at all times. So now, if you see me aiming here against this Sojourn, what's gonna happen is I'm gonna constantly be like cheating my aim towards this 2 on the wall, which is what I'm doing right now. And that in return is going to make my aim so much easier. So like, this is just kind of how I do it in Vaxta. If you can try to imagine that 2 is still my frame of reference point. And then if anybody tries to go behind me, I'm just going to press S so that they cannot walk behind me, and that we're going to be like kind of stuck in a pattern together. All right, so getting into the first example of how I use frame of references in my games, like in my live games. Remember, they have to happen really fast in the game. You can't just like anchor to a specific spot all the time. So now the enemy Lucio comes in here, and my teammate calmed it, and I was kind of ready for it already. And now you can already see that I made this wall right here, this square right here, this rectangle. I love how I'm pointing to it, like you can see me. I'm an idiot. So this rectangle becomes my frame of reference, which means just like in Vaxta, I'm going to cheat my aim and square my body to this, because the odds of this Lucio going behind me are almost 0. And the only way that he can exit is back through this door. So you're going to see how I square up. And then I just use my movement. It happens really fast. I just strafe A and D, and my cursor just stays onto him the entire time. As I turn, you can see that there is a wall here, and the angle is kind of square right here. So I'm kind of squaring myself up to another frame of reference, which is actually this. And so I want to be squared to this new mental anchor that I just put right there, which allows me to get that Kiri on the tiniest frame, because I just have to sit here and put my cursor right there on the target. The next example is going to be, once again, nothing crazy, but as soon as I walk into this room, we know that this Lucio's exit point is going to be this doorway. And now we can make this entire wall in the background here, we can make that my frame of reference. You might have been able to guess that at this point. So if you were, good job. That means you're learning. And what I do is I just, once again, hold D on my keyboard with that frame of reference. And just like in Vaxta, you barely have to actually move your mouse, and you just use your keyboard to aim. Basically, what I'm doing is like I'm eliminating all these variables in order to make my aim better. All right, this is the last example for Cassidy. My new frame of reference is going to become this wall right here, okay? So this wall is like going to be something I square up to and try to make my movement predictable to. And you're gonna see how it starts impacting my movement. Like even right there, you can see that I'm square to the wall, so I just press D, which allows me to get that kill on Genji. And then you're going to see it once again with the Lucio here as I chase him down. As soon as this Lucio comes in here, I actually make this my frame of reference. You can make it whatever you want. You could have made it this door as well, but I like to make this my frame of reference. So what happens is he gets booped, and because this is my frame of reference, I'm already square to my frame of reference, and I'm able to just get the kill on Lucio. Also, this is another thing. Make sure that you focus on shots that you can. Look at me take a ½ second just to make sure I focus my aim and hit this shot. That's something that a lot of players really don't do, and they need to get better at. All right, into the Sojourn ones. I want to give a quick shout out to AimLabs for sponsoring today's video. I've actually been using AimLabs since 2019. It was a huge part of my journey to hitting top 500 for the very first time whenever I really wanted to improve my mechanics and my aiming. Back then, I was grinding the core flicking and tracking playlist basically every single day after I got home from school. And it genuinely helped build the muscle memory and consistency I needed so that I can focus on other things like game sense. Now that I'm using AimLabs Premium, it's honestly insane how much more it offers. You get more aim in-depth analysis like heat maps, reaction time, tracking, precision breakdowns. It even builds custom training routines based on your weaknesses. It's not just random aim training, it's very smart and focused. There's also stuff like task comparisons, progress tracking over time, and even tools that let you fine-tune your routine like a real coach would. It's built for players who are serious about improving. If you want to try to take your aim to the next level, please use the link below. It supports the channel, and it gets you into one of the best tools to improve your FPS gaming. Appreciate you guys. On to the video. All right, so as I swing here with Sojourn, now this is one of the most common hallways for Sojourn in all of Overwatch. If you ever see pro play, this is the exact hallway they always like to take, either on the opposite side, on the stairs on the far side, or here on this side. So basically, this frame of reference I'm creating now is going to be these two pillars, okay? Now this is creating a square. And what I'm doing is I'm making sure that my movement is predictable to it. So I'm mentally anchoring this square right here to my movement. And you're going to see that all of my movement and all my aim is going to reflect with trying to make that sort of like the center of my mind. So as I'm walking in here, I end up getting rail, and because they're in a hallway, I'm able to basically just hold my cursor on one spot, which allows me to kill them. Please watch my hallway videos if you haven't. They're really, really helpful. So we end up getting that kill, which allows me to start sort of walking in, but even though this Genji's on this left side, you're gonna keep in mind that I'm still kind of keeping my frame of reference on the screen, just like I showed earlier in VAC stuff. You see this Genji over here, and I'm trying to poke Genji out. Don't know if it was the best play or not, but even though it's not the best play, you can still see how like kind of good my aim looks because of my movement. It's because my movement is so predictable to me, and my aim is on sync with it as well. So once again, you can probably assume what I'm making my anchor point, right? I'm making this square my frame of reference. All my movement is going to be square to that and being predictable to that, and you're gonna see how neat the aim's gonna look here. So even that shot on Lucio, very easy to hit because I have that frame of reference just completely squared up to. And you're probably thinking, Nick, why aren't you taking the left side or the right side or whatever? Well, if I walk in front of my Ramatra, do you think that's a good idea? Like, I'm going to get blown up instantly. Like, I have to play behind this Ramatra no matter what. And you're going to see how patiently we're going to play. And I'm just going to stand behind him. I can't walk forward on my own. I just have to play for rail or a pick or whatever, or cooldowns. But you see me still keeping this frame of reference square, and all my movement is being predicted by that square. Or it's a rectangle, I guess. That's going to really be the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you really get something out of it. Now, this is something that carried me from Diamond up to Masters Plus, and it really helps lock in with the autopilot. It helps fix a lot of the autopiloting issues. So please like and subscribe. I love you guys. Peace.